Well, I was checking out some of the wrestling stuff that was going on in the world of wrestling, and if you want to check me calling out wrestling, play by play, hold for hold, is I do it all. The play by play, the analysis, and all that stuff. You can catch me at Spotify, the Uncle Bobby Experience, and also I'm doing that Remember Me podcast. It has nothing to do with wrestling, but right now I'm talking about WWE news. They're talking about STDs and herpes and outbreak, going on in the WWE. And with it being a physical kind of sport, you gotta wonder, how far is that gonna get around? And what was the original spreader? I don't know. Patient Zero. That's a good story that's flying around the internet. I'm definitely looking to see the developments of that. They're also talking about Chris Jericho, leaving AEW to go back to WWE and possibly create a feud with CM Punk and other people, recreating their final little run. Maybe even, go nose to nose with John Cena one last time. And, maybe that's something to check out. His career is nearing an end, possibly with AEW. And also, they were talking about Triple H. They were body shaming this man. I was talking about the internet doing that. I had a feeling they were gonna, show their true selves. Have that conversation, the kind of Cardi B kind of conversation, a fat phobia, where they were just roasting this man's physique over here, and possibly, not a bad physique for a man his age, but other people would say otherwise. He has a history with heart problems and stuff like that. I don't think he could do what he used to do in the gym. I don't think he could lift anymore. Maybe it was all those, substance enhancement stuff that he was taking. It took its toll on his life, on his health. So now, he has to sport the dad bod. And people want Triple H to mod his body. They saw him on the beach. They saw him and Stephanie, getting water, getting some sun, getting some sand on their feet. And they said, this is not sexy. They don't want to see this. They don't want to have anything to do with it. They're into that fat shaming Triple H. And I tell people, nobody better body shame my body. Just to the body. Dusty the bodies. And now maybe I have to say Paul Levesque's body, baby. Come on, people. The internet. Nasty, riled up people. You're looking to just continuously point fingers and blame and body shame. If somebody, came out with something like that, you'd be against it. You were. There's this NXT storyline about some woman body shaming a former wide back bitch. In her promo work. I think it was against Jordan Grace. They had a ton of things to say about it. The internet wanted to cancel that woman, but now the internet doesn't care about certain things when they do it. As the culture only wants to cancel what it wishes. It doesn't cancel itself, even though it does at times. I mean, but in this case, it doesn't. And they're looking to go pointing fingers and roasting people right now. I don't know, and I'm sure a lot of the people that are doing that roasting, would have fake photos, doctored up catfishing photos, to hide the tracks of the fact that they're, possibly out of shape, possibly show it, show spend it, think around the muffin top waistline. But they want to go after Paul Levesque now because the man has a somewhat stomach. He doesn't care about the crunches anymore. He's living the high life now. The man is, dressed up in his suit. He's not looking to get in the ring anymore. He's not looking to wrestle. And, maybe the only thing he's looking to wrestle is another one of those carb-filled donuts that he has at the office, maybe. Who knows? But the internet never failing to, have double standards, improving once again that there's a lot of two-faced people out there. Well, anyway, at least the internet is going to be brutally opinionated, if it's not brutally honest. Or is it just, another conversation to have about AI, these robots, just getting online and attracting attention with negative conversation? And I would like to see that in the comments so we can have the conversation. What do you think about the exposure AI? I talked about it a little bit on my show before I went off talking about the things I didn't get to get into. So I'm looking to do that right now, as we talked about The wrestling stuff, the rumors going around, some of the things happening within the world of the wrestling outside of the square circle, with this whole STD situation. Do you think it's because of the, what do you call it, the physical nature of wrestling? I was watching a UFC throwback, what was it called? The Ultimate Fighter show. And one of the contestants had to be removed because they had a form of herpes on their skin, and if they rumbled around the ring and rolled around with people that was getting sweaty, chances are that it was gonna, give an outbreak of herpes to everybody on the training camp. And is it a situation like that that got unchecked somehow? Where somebody was probably, taking the meds or whatever, that it was just an outbreak and they didn't realize it. They started sweating, rolling around the mat with different people, and it was an outbreak. And do they have a list of people that were possibly affected by this outbreak? I don't know, but that's kind of a crazy story as well. That I think the WWE hopefully has huge concerns for, and who knows how it's going to interrupt, the actual wrestling. And switching on to a different topic, but still something about wrestling over land rights and agreements. Where Putin and Trump have recently met up at Alaska. You gotta wonder why they took so much time to go over there and what they were doing over there. Because they were talking about possibly making a peace deal, with Zelensky and this land agreement and this land trade for over mineral rights that they don't talk enough about. You gotta wonder what's all that about. Is it what kind of minerals they're going after over there? And now they're talking about this kind of peace, NATO kind of security agreement, for Putin over there. Even though this man continuously, interjects himself into the Ukraine and continues to do, illegal assaults and drone attacks all over that place. But he said he had some good talks there. He didn't agree to stop attacking the place, but they did agree to having the land switch. The mineral rights and all that stuff. Now they're trying to get the rights to mineral waters over there. This man is trying to take over the mineral water game or something. I don't know. I have no idea what these minerals are for. They could be some explosive style minerals or something else. I don't know. But the capabilities of whatever this thing could be is a highly, big reason for why they're doing a lot of what they're doing. Even though they'll tell you that this came about from, the Biden administration failing to, sign off on these peace deals without forcing Putin to join the World Health Organization, which caused this whole thing to go down over the money that was taken from Hunter Biden and his running and failure to run that situation. They say, there's tons of different things that they say is connected to this whole thing. Trump likes to say, it would have never happened under my watch. Like when they canceled my first show, it would have never happened then. But now, look at me. Even though they tend to pull some of my videos and some of my audios and some of my shows, I'm still multi-platforming, multitasking, running an ambitious show here. And, we're looking for the audience to grow. We're looking for the different type of audience. And, we want to know, what do you think about that situation? I'm not afraid to talk about the crazy stuff that's happening around the world. And what do you think they met up, in the Arctic for? As they talking about all these crazy deals and, dirty, shady handlings in the Kremlin and all that stuff. Some very James Bond style stuff they talk about. And a lot of people believe that there is a lot of technology and things that they don't talk about or show us that's actually at Antarctica. And, I just think that it was weird that everything is happening. Or, Alaska. I said Antarctica. Alaska. It's just a lot of crazy talks and wonders of what is actually happening with the control, of power, with the control of the government. When we talk about powerful people in power that tend to let the power get to their head. And, we don't want to have an issue where the president is going to be doing some shady dealings, and crazy handlings. We don't need this controversy to be a very Puff Daddy style, baby oil style, nuclear world war style situation happening Where this man is hiring people so they can sniff his feet or sniff their feet. As he watches JD Vance continuously buy new sofa sets to have sex with, because these people are obsessed, with being sick and perverse. Maybe even Vince McMahon like. And is this a case of the administration screwing themselves? I don't know. But, we're going to have to see what happens with the next few years that we have to deal with all this stuff. If they tend to go after all sorts of civil rights, civil liberties, and claims. I don't have any political backing of any kind. I'm not backing the Democrats or the Republicans or anything. Because I don't think anybody anywhere in politics on any level, honestly, is ever going to really do anything ever for us, to ever do positive change. And I mean that, and I'll even talk so far as to say, New York, you might as well deal with Eric Adams, the man that I had to continuously berate to stop sexually assaulting women at MTA so that we could get some change around here. When it came to the rollout and the failure of that rollout because of the way that they filed the paperwork and everything else. We talked about that. But now we have to talk about, Mamdani. I don't think you want to deal with the government brand, government-owned style, strategic style this man is going to do to take away your delis. He's going to take away your stores, the mom-and-pop business. He's going to take away our cigars, our Lucy's. He's going to take away your chopped cheese sandwich. And one day you're not even going to be able to get a deli open and get a fucking bacon, egg, and cheese. You'd be lucky to get fucking dehydrated garbanzo beans and white rice, in these supermarkets. But one day you're going to see soldiers standing in front of it as people line up in poverty just to buy nothing, really, because they ain't going to even have the stability to hold up any of these ideal constructs that they're looking to build into our socialistic viewpoints now, because for some reason everybody wants this style. And then one day they're just going to say they broke. They don't have the money to sustain this stuff. And you're going to wake up one day and the store ain't going to be there. Ain't going to be no supermarket. Ain't going to be no stores. Ain't going to be no chopped cheese. Your bacon, egg, and cheese is going to be gone. Wiped out. They're taking away all the luxuries. And if you don't think Mamdani will start to do it, he will. It'll look sweet when he implicates this whole thing. Everything's free now. We don't have to pay for anything. And then one day you're going to see that it all costs you more than you're willing to pay. Are you willing to bargain with your politics? You might as well deal with the devil, and hopefully one day that'll be Uncle Bobby over here, the man that will tell you the only reason that he get 1 million views and 1 million hits is because he sold his soul, or he allowed some fucking form of weird amphibious reptilian to take over him as he took over the internet. And hopefully you're going to make me become the big sensation, taking over globally as we continue to reach here on YouTube. We're taking it down one episode at a time, and hopefully you're going to help me get there as we're looking to take over Hollywood. In a very shady way, they say, while I'm filming these shows, Dr. Z may just walk in randomly. I'm like, oh my God, Uncle Bobby, what are you doing? Are you listening to porno? And I'll be like, no, not watching a porno. I'm filming it. As they say, you have to go lowbrow before you can take it all the way to the tippy top, and I guess you got to start from the bottom up. And then from that, I guess, I'm going to end this show now. Because again, they say, I have poor taste in what I say, and possibly, this dark, campy humor, but I don't know. You can only let me know if you reply in the comments. Let me know what you want to talk about. What do you think I could do better for these videos? Is I'm looking to pick up the production some point in some way. As technology continues to advance, and all its wonders, it continues to fail me. I talked about having issues with wires being chewed by squirrels and then dogs. And who else would have their wirings chewed by squirrels and dogs but a man named Uncle Bobby? And with that being said, even if your Ancestry.com says I am not your uncle, I am your uncle. And for the morning, afternoon, or whenever we catch you, check out that Remember Me, Uncle Bobby podcast on Spotify. And until next time, people.